There's a fashion hound on the prowl at Wynn Las Vegas. We'll talk about that and other innovative technologies that you'll see at strip resorts during your next trip.
That's right. Welcome to Vegas Revealed, episode 42. We've got an update also on a bunch of shows opening on the strip and an update on some hotels opening as well. It's all coming up on Vegas Revealed.
Let's go to Vegas, baby. Let's go tonight. Right now. Let's go to Vegas. We'll stay up all night. Let's go to Vegas. Let's get away.
Welcome to Vegas Revealed. You know, all eyes have been on Las Vegas, really around the world, not for the entertainment reasons that we're used to, but for the election. Thanks for being here. I'm Sean McAllister along with Dayna Roselli.
That's right. I mean, it may not be for entertainment, but it is entertaining, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, this election here in the United States is, gone past the actual election day, and Nevada is one of the states that is still counting. Listen, folks, it is a Friday that we're recording this. We drop it on, Saturday nights. But right now, we're still counting here in Nevada. I called someplace, Sean, to order something in another state, and they were like, what's going on in Nevada? I thought you guys were a 24-hour town. I was like, yeah, I know. We're still counting votes.
Well, all the memes and the social media comments about the ballot counting in Nevada have been absolutely hilarious. It's like an endless stream of really funny stuff. People saying that, saying poll workers, like in reference to strippers.
Right.
And that we have plenty of those, but
Exactly.
but not enough to actually count ballots.
I know, boy, it's been a crazy few days, and some of these memes and some of these things that you're talking about have kind of lightened the mood a little bit because, people are anxious. This is a huge election. Obviously, we see the turnout is bigger than ever. So when you're listening to this during the week, there may be some different kinds of decisions made, but, we'll have to see. But we appreciate it's good. I don't know if it's good or bad advertising for Nevada, but, what do they say? Any press is good press.
Hey, it's been keeping Las Vegas top of mind for everybody around the world who's watching.
It's so true. It's so true. Last night, I set up my friend's Christmas tree. So that's where we are here in Las Vegas. Yeah, pushing right ahead. Anything to make people feel better, right? We need
Before
to be...
Thanksgiving. That's bold.
I know. Listen, I went over to help decorate, but, it wasn't my idea. But we had a blast doing it. And people are, wanting to do anything to make themselves feel less anxious, feel happier, and just, kind of get over the hump of everything going on with the election and COVID and, people without jobs. So anything positive.
Well, I saw that there was a radio station, I think up in Portland, Oregon, that is already playing 24-hour Christmas music already. We just past Halloween.
As long as they don't play that Bruce Springsteen song. I cannot stand that Santa Claus is coming to town.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
I can't. I don't know why. That is my one song that I cannot take at Christmas or Christmas time. I don't know why. It just,
you know what?
It annoys me.
A lot of Christmas songs, It takes me back to my teenage years because I worked at a hardware store back in Western New York, Chase Pickin.
Oh, yeah, Chase Pickin.
So that was my seasonal job, and I always worked there during the holidays, and I had to stock all the seasonal stuff in the garden department. And once that Christmas music started, it was on a loop, and you would hear the same songs every day, over and over. And so I feel like I've had my fill of Christmas music. Although sometimes it still does get me in the holiday cheer.
Yeah, I know. It's just that Bruce Springsteen one. It starts off all weird, and I don't know. It just always... Anyway, I love that you worked at a hardware store during the holiday season.
Yeah.
That's cool. Some updates in Las Vegas. We got some news that the Rio could possibly be opening. And I guess that's a big deal because we all wondered, was the Rio ever going to open or just remain closed and get imploded or something?
Right. Well, the final resort on the Las Vegas Strip just recently opened, the Cromwell, which we saw on the CBS series Love Island over this whole
Quality
quarantine
TV.
period. Yeah. And so we've been wondering, just sitting off the Strip are the Rio, and across the street from that is the Palms. And that's been the big question. Are those two resorts just going to sit there empty? And so finally we have gotten word that by the end of the year, the Rio is supposed to reopen. Of course, the Rio is home to Penn and Teller. They've had their show over at the Rio for decades.
Yeah, I've gone to that a couple times, but you know what show I've gone to many, many, many times at the Rio?
Chippendales.
It's Chippendales.
Yep.
When I think of the Rio, I think of Chippendales automatically. I don't know what it is.
How did that skip my mind?
I don't know, but you park right at the bottom, you go up the elevator, over the bridge, and there's the Chippendales showroom.
Then after the show, you go next door for a burger.
Yes, that burger place is key. It used to be what, Burger King?
It was a Burger King, yeah.
And then
it was a good Burger King.
It was. And then it changed to something else. I can't think of what it is now or was or anything. Anyway, we're happy to see that, the Rio may possibly open at the end of the year. We don't know. That's what they're projecting. But it's there, and if they can get people in there and spending money, they'll take it.
Well, and that is the key. If the people can get there and spend money, and that is the thing that apparently MGM Resorts is dealing with. MGM Resorts, the parent company of a lot of the big casinos on the Las Vegas Strip, and one of them, Park MGM, it's just announced that that's going to be closed midweek. So they'll only be open on, and I believe this is for hotel business.
Right. Most of them have just been, if they've done this, it's been the hotel rooms, but they keep the casino open.
Right. So Park MGM is going to be down midweek, and, there for visitors on the weekends, which is when we have seen an uptick in visitor traffic over the past few months since Vegas has reopened. But, you will still be able to go to the casino during the week, but you can't stay there during the week.
And they're saying it'll go, right now it just plans through December. They're saying the holiday season. So, hopefully after that, and once foot traffic starts to pick up again midweek, then they'll be able to reopen. But Encore did something similar. They kept the Wynn Tower rooms open, but then the Encore, I believe the Palazzo at one point. And so now Park MGM deciding to do that as well. But, at least the casino will be open. It's still open, and business is still strolling in.
Yeah. And as we've been talking about over the past couple weeks, we have seen more entertainment offerings opening back up on the Las Vegas Strip. Lorraine Apparel, one of our friends, the headliner of Fantasy over at the Luxor.
Yeah.
And they're back on stage. I've been watching her Instagram and going through rehearsals, and they're back, but in a bigger venue, very socially distanced. But it's good to see our performers back up on stage.
Yeah, I talked to her about doing an interview on the podcast, and she's been so slammed with rehearsals. And I said, "Gosh, it must be a lot to get back in it." And she texted me back, she's like, "Girl, my body's killing me." I'm like, "Yeah, I bet." It's crazy when we're not used to doing that intense exercise, or in the case of this, these shows that they do, dancing around and all that.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So Fantasy is back. Also, the Jabberwockies over at MGM Grand. We mentioned this, I think, 2 or 3 episodes ago here on Vegas, revealed that they would be moving into MGM Grand Garden Arena.
Amazing.
And so that show, I believe there was a preview performance just the other night. So they'll be welcoming audiences back in over there. And Brad Garrett's Comedy Club.
Yeah, and they're doing that in a ballroom or in a couple ballrooms to kind of spread it out. Carrot Top's back, and he also, I think, in the same theater that Fantasy is. So they used to be in that little, I think it's called the Atrium Theater, and now they're in the big theater at Luxor. So him too, he was getting all his props spread out and ready to roll, and happy to be back on stage. I saw him on Instagram talking about that. That MJ Live show opened up too at the Stratosphere.
Right.
So that's a pretty big showroom. So they're happy to be back. And I think I even just got a release the other day saying they had to add a couple shows because it's been pretty busy.
Well, that's incredible, because if you've been here to Las Vegas since the town has reopened, but before entertainment got back into the swing of things, there wasn't a ton to do. If you're not a huge gambler, which, I mean, as much as the casinos would like you to, you can't just be gambling 24/7 while you're here.
Right.
Entertainment definitely is helping to bring a sense of normalcy back to the Strip. And now we just need a lot more to open up across the board.
Right. No, I know. It's step by step, but we are definitely moving forward, which is great. And one more show, Absinthe, opened up as well. I
Right,
saw a lot
yep.
of folks go to that. I haven't been yet, but it looked like it went over really well. They'd been planning for their socially distanced, I don't know if you call it a circus tent, but tent, the Absinthe
Well, it
tent.
kind of is a circus
Yeah,
tent.
kind of a circus tent for a while now. So,
Very strategic for them to space things out inside that tent, and because it was very close quarters.
It was.
Before you were like right up in the performers like junk pretty much.
You looked up, yeah. You never depended what act it was, but some really talented people in that
They
show.
are.
So I'm glad that they're able to move forward. We're going to talk technology though coming up in our next segment. We've got an interview with someone from Red Rock, which is a station casino, which is one of our really, really beautiful and very popular off-strip hotel resorts in Summerlin.
Yeah, and we'll hear what they're doing on the gaming front technology-wise to adapt to the new normal, plus some interesting robotic creatures you may encounter during your next trip to Vegas. We'll be back after this.
Thanks for listening to Vegas Revealed. Remember, you can always go to our website at vegas-revealed.com. There we have tons of videos, content, ways you can listen, and also an email, ideas@vegas-revealed.com. You can throw us a note and let us know what you'd like us to talk about.
Welcome back to Vegas Revealed. You know, Dayna, a couple weeks ago, my husband Shane and I stayed at the Downtown Grand in downtown Las Vegas. We stayed there for the big Circa Las Vegas opening.
Right.
But I was surprised at the new technology that they've implemented since we were last there, which really was almost a year ago. We got married at the Downtown Grand.
Right.
So it was
Gosh,
our
it's like
first
yesterday.
time, first big stay at the Downtown Grand since then. And one of the things that I thought was so cool is that when we walked in the room, they had one of those QR codes that was up on the TV. And when you scanned it with your phone, it turned your smartphone into the remote control for the TV.
Oh, that's great.
Because you know how there's all these reports that say that the remote control in a hotel room is one of the filthiest things that you can touch?
Oh my gosh, I never even thought of that.
I know, and I thought that was so smart that they put that technology to use in such a great way. And then, on there, you can usually check your your receipt and your folio for the stay at a resort on the in-room TV, but they've greatly expanded all the features that they have available to use on the TV, but also at the Downtown Grand, they have an app that kind of acts as your personal concierge.
I love that.
During your stay. So it's only available to you from check-in to check-out, but it gives you all sorts of access to food options and any questions you might have about the resort or things that are around the property. So I thought that was really cool and a good use of new technology in this new, post-COVID, well, I guess we're still in COVID, but, in this new era of, health-minded living.
Yeah, I mean, then you only have to touch your stuff, which
Yep.
is great. We feel a little bit safer that way. So great thing that they did over there. Something that I saw and you saw, which is getting a lot of attention online, is this fashion hound at the Wynn Plaza shops. It's like this robotic dog that gives fashion advice, apparently, or something like that, or lets you know where to go, maybe to shop. I'm not sure exactly what he does, but we did, call over there and write over there and try and get some information. And they say he's still in the test stages at this point. So they're working on that, getting more tests, seeing how, what elements they want to add and all that kind of thing. But they're getting a great response. But it looks hilarious. And another thing, we just need things that we can walk around and it's like a new attraction, You're like, oh, let's go see the fashion hound.
Yeah, and there's a really funny video of this fashion hound walking around in the Wynn Plaza. We'll put that up on our Vegas Revealed Instagram page. But it does look like it's like this robotic dog, and it has fur on it.
Right.
but then it just has almost an iPad for a face.
Yeah, it does. It's funny looking, but I like it.
And
I was thinking an idea, if I were them, I would have like the Joan Rivers voice come out maybe. But then it would like pick people out, like, what are you wearing? You know what I mean? Like, oh, that looks awful.
That's so funny.
You need a new outfit.
I don't know if it's there to critique guest fashion.
I know. But that would be my idea, because I think it would be much more funny. They could be like critique fashion and then tell them what store to go to. You really could use a new bag. That one's outdated. You should head over to Gucci.
We might need to have a follow-up conversation with our friends over at the Wynn.
Yeah, and my Joan Rivers voice is definitely not up there.
That's just another example of how new technology is kind of taking over Las Vegas. At MGM Resorts, they're doing all mobile check-in as an option for guests so that you don't have to stand at the front desk at their properties and wait in line. Basically, what you do is when you make your reservation and on the day of check-in, you get an email that tells you to go to their app. And basically, when your room is ready, you get notice, and it turns your phone into your room key, so you don't even interact with anybody anymore.
Oh, I love that.
It's all through
Easy.
the app. And when you get in the elevator, you pull up the app, you get your digital room key out, you hold it up to the thing so that you can punch the floor into the elevator. And the same thing when you get to your room. You just hold your phone up to the door, and it unlocks the door for you. I don't know how they do it, but it's cool.
Gosh, our phones can do so much. It's insane, right?
They really can. And then also on the phones, if you make a reservation for a show or a restaurant at MGM properties, they're basically doing online check-in there. And so they'll tell you if you're waiting for a reservation at a restaurant, you'll get a message that pops up on your phone when your table is ready, and then you just show up. They take you right to your table.
Perfect.
And the same thing for a show. When it's time for you to be seated, you'll get a message and they walk you right in. So it really limits the time that you have to wait in line and be in close quarters with other people.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Good for them. We were talking with folks over at Caesars too, and they sent us some information. And what's becoming really popular there is this whole food at your fingertips program.
Right.
And that is the same thing. So basically, if you want to order something and maybe you want to pick it up, or you want it kind of sent to you, delivery available to guest rooms, the pool, the race, sportsbook, poker room, and casino, all that kind of thing, just for a little bit of a fee. But what it helps is if some people don't want to sit and be planted around people inside of a restaurant, you can still order from the best restaurants, but pick it up. And they're having a lot of success with that. They offer it at Caesars Palace, Harrah's, Paris, The Link, Planet Hollywood, and the Cromwell. So it's really cool because you can go through, look at all the menus, and then order from there. So that's kind of something that's new. It's tech savvy, it's convenient, and you can still have the kind of world-class cuisine that you enjoy.
Yeah, I actually tried that out over at the Cromwell. I was
yeah?
at the sports book, and there's a word, I forget what the word is, but you text it to a number. They have the little placards that are there on the table to tell you exactly how it works. And as soon as you text that, the menu pops up, you order, and a few minutes later, there's food being delivered directly to you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, because I was reading, it says text Ivy. Is it Ivy?
Yes, it's Ivy.
He's the Caesars Entertainment personal concierge.
Yep.
Yeah. So there you go. It's got a name. And they also have this tailgate to go, which is very similar to that, but during football season, you can order right to your room. Caesars has a pizza place that you can order from. Harrah's has the Fulton Street Food Hall. You can order from Guy Fieri's Vegas Kitchen and Bar. So really cool idea there as well if you want to watch some football from the comfort of your room and have football-ish style food sent to you, to eat while you're there. So, all right, we've talked food, we've talked check-in, we've talked remote controls, but now let's talk gaming.
Yeah, we have Dustin Boshers from Station Casinos, who's getting us all the ins and outs of the revolutionary new gaming experiences. Hey, Dustin.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, let's talk about this. I mean, gaming is such a huge part of, I think, why people are heading to casinos right now. I mean, there's restaurants, there's things to do to just get out, but people are really enjoying gambling again. So what has changed with the experience for folks?
So the base games are still there, but what's changed is the way we're dealing the games now. And so the biggest change would be the social distancing and the cleanliness factor is really the most important thing for the guests. And so we've gone into a new era where electronic table games, which are basically a crossbred between tables and slots. So it gives the guests that social distancing. It also gives them that feel where they don't have to touch cards and chips anymore, but they still get that experience of a live dealer and actually seeing the dealer deal the cards or spin the roulette wheel. So it's really changed how we're doing business nowadays, for the better, actually.
And I know we're over here at Red Rock today. I live over by Green Valley Ranch where you have the same technology, and I've played these games, and you still get, at least I have, fun dealer interaction.
You do, and we've really chose the right dealers to be over here that interact with the guests and create an environment where it's kind of a party atmosphere where, hey, yeah, I'm not sitting right directly next to the dealer, but I can still get that vibe where they're excited when I win, and you know, the whole atmosphere with everybody over here is let's play as a group and let's have a good time. Yeah.
And then when you talk about safety and all that, I mean, just highlight for folks, because we do have a lot of listeners that are out of the state, out, you know, in different countries across the world that want to come to Vegas, want to go gambling, want to do these things. What can you do to instill a little bit of confidence that, you know what, it's okay, we've got measures in place?
Yeah. So, I mean, from the day one that we opened up, the Fertitta brothers wanted to make sure that the guests came back here and felt like they were safe and secure at all times with the current environment. So, I mean, you start out, you walk right in the casino, you're going to get your temperature checked right when you come in to make sure you're healthy and that you come in those doors. Throughout the property, we have hand sanitizer stations. We have everything is cleaned by the team multiple times. When a guest gets up from a slot machine or a table, the team members are going over, they're cleaning that device or that table to make sure that the guest experience is the best it can possibly be.
And from a dealer's perspective, how has the staff here acclimated to the new technology?
They've done great. I mean, you always have that, you know, first couple of weeks where people are adjusting to the product, but now the team's an all-star. They're doing a great job with it, and they know how the devices work. They're actually out there walking the floor, too, to help the guests to make sure they understand the product, because it is a little something different, especially if you were only traditional table games. Now it's got that slot feel to it a little bit, so it's teaching the guests how the system works, but the guests have picked up on it really easy, and the system is set up that if you're a brand new player, that you can really learn the product really easily.
Let's talk about playing. What's exciting? I mean, we've talked a little bit about that at first, but if folks come to the casino, what's exciting? What's new?
So, I mean, like I said, the ETG product is really the new part of it, and this is the ability for the guests to play multiple games at the same time. So you could be sitting there playing a hand of baccarat, switch over, play a spin of the wheel on roulette, and then jump over to blackjack all within a couple seconds. You can't do that on a traditional table game. So that's a huge change there. And then we've also just added additional products throughout the casino to add that feel of safe and the ability to get guests into action quicker. And that's why we've also introduced the PlayOn devices onto the table games, which is debit card transactions right there at the table. So the guest doesn't have to leave the table. They can sit there and take the money right out at the table and get into action.
Again, just to clarify so that listeners understand, these electronic table games, these are live games that are happening. This isn't stuff that's just taking place from a computer.
Correct. It's an actual dealer up on a stadium, basically. They got a table right there. They have the cards. They have the wheel. They're spinning a ball. It is a table game, and the actual video feed is being put onto your individual unit, and the guests can sit there and look at the hands being dealt. So this is not the old machines of past where it was a digital blackjack or digital roulette. This is a live table game with real dealers, real cards, so you get to see the transparency of the transaction that this is a real game. The only difference is you get that a little bit of that ability to be away from other guests, so that if you want that safe vibe feel, you get that. And then also, like I said, you can jump between so many different games so quickly if you want to.
It's really cool. Listen, thanks for sharing this. And we're going to post some stuff on our social media. You're going to show us around,
absolutely,
right, at
yes,
some
ma'am.
of the different things?
Yes, absolutely. We're going to take you through the tour of the property and show you all the great things we've added and all that safe and secure stuff we've done to make you feel like you're safe inside the building.
All right, Dustin, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you coming down.
All right, and stay with us. Vegas Revealed back after this, and we're talking in our tips a little bit about Christmas things to do, Sean.
Stay with us.
Welcome back to Dayna and Sean's Secret Tips. We talked about decorating Christmas trees earlier, so we thought we'd tell you about a couple things that are happening around the holidays, because if you're listening, maybe you're thinking about planning a trip to Las Vegas, or you're a local in the month of December, end of November. We got a lot of things going on here we wanted to let you know about. My tip is this bar. It's a Miracle pop-up bar, okay? It's really cool. It actually takes place at the Sand Dollar Lounge, which, if you've never been, it's just off the strip, just to the west of it. And I don't know, Sean, would you call it a dive bar?
I don't know.
It's a step above.
Yeah, it's a nice little place.
It's a nice little place.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, they transform it into this unique winter wonderland pop-up bar for the holiday season. And it's great. The owners there announced it's returning. It's going to be for 6 weeks. It starts on November 23rd through New Year's Eve. There'll be a live music, craft cocktail, and pizza bar, and they call it the Miracle on Spring Mountain because it's on Spring Mountain. And again, it's the Miracle Bar pop-up, so write that down. If you're coming to Vegas during that time, it's something you definitely want to check out. They have a whole list of really cool cocktails. The Christmapolitan.
I was going to say, they're all like Christmas holiday themed, right?
The Fruitcake Flip.
Ooh.
Right? On Dasher, get it? Bad Santa. Yippee-ki-yay, Mother, I can't say. And the Jingle Balls Nog. So it's a creative list, Sean.
That is a creative list. Kudos to whoever came up with those names.
I know.
Also on the holiday theme, the Venetian is putting on a Christmas show featuring some past American Idol contestants. It's called This Is Christmas. It's taking place inside the Venetian Theater. And the show is going to run from November 27th through December 27th, Friday through Sunday, with 2 shows, 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. Now, if you are interested in buying tickets to this show, they do recommend that if you have multiple people going, that you all buy your seats at the same time.
Okay.
To make sure that you're all sitting together.
Right.
Otherwise, if, Bob and Lucy buy their tickets at a different time than you buy your tickets, you may be sitting on the opposite side of the theater from them.
Right. You'll be waving to Bob and Lucy across the way.
But who knows? Maybe you don't necessarily want to sit with Bob and Lucy.
Exactly. So maybe you act like, oh, I didn't know we had to book our seats together.
But now you know, and you don't have to tell Bob and Lucy.
Yeah.
But there are tons of great performers who are a part of this. Lou Gazzara is in this, Randall Keith, Jacqueline McSpadden, Ben Stone,
he's great.
Jasmine Trias, who's incredible.
Amazing.
It's Eric Jordan Young, producer and performer. So this is going to be a great show with incredible talent, and the music just will certainly get you in the spirit.
Right. It's going to be very special, and I love that they've kind of come up with something different there, to use that theater and make sure that people have something to do when they visit here to celebrate the holidays.
Yeah, and so the theater will be socially distanced. You will have to wear a mask while you're in there, but you know what? It's just the times.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And then after, you can go down to the Sand Dollar and have that.
There you go.
Yippee-ki-yay. If you want to mix in a little bit of the sweet with the not so sweet.
Snowball Nog. What is it?
Jingle Ball Nog.
Jingle Ball Nog.
Oh, man, let's leave it on that note. It's Friday. We're recording this bit, and, we could all use a drink.
Oh, what a week. Man, what a couple weeks. Thanks for being here on Vegas Revealed. If you saw us online and you're checking us out for the first time, we appreciate it. If you're a return listener, we'd appreciate it if you'd like us and leave us a review on the whatever platform you're listening to us on.
That's right. We really love 5-star reviews. Hint, hint. Have a great week, everyone.
We'll see you next week.
We'll stay up all night. Let's go to Vegas.